At first, my lungs felt like there was just simply a cough caught in them that I couldn't get up. It was a slight irritation, not unlike maybe hay fever or, it's just this little annoyance. And then it became full-on crackly pain. Hi, my name's Dave Evanoff. I am a musician and an entertainer here in Salt Lake City. I also own a recording studio, which I've operated for 30 years now, where we produce music for film, television, and special events. I was working on a record with a producer from Interscope Records out of New York. And we had set up a schedule for him to come in with some local talent and a singer that he was bringing in. And ironically, part of the idea was to work in Utah because New York was such a hotbed for COVID. Also, the singer, the main artist on this project, is from Utah. So the decision was made to work here. We worked for 4 days in the studio. We were masked most of the time, and I say most of the time because that's an important part to the story, but the artists had masks on unless they were in a sound booth behind me. We all had our masks, and unbeknownst to us, the producer had COVID. And at the time, he was asymptomatic. He said he felt fine. So we worked Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Monday, I got up. It was a normal day. I felt pretty good. I felt fine. I went for a jog and I went to a CrossFit class online in my basement. But by about 2 o'clock, I started to feel strange. I really can't describe it other than to say it was strange. I was exhausted. I was so tired and I felt weird. And I called my wife and she said, I'm scheduling you a COVID test. And I went to get my test that night at about 5 o'clock. And by the time I got home, she had isolated me in the basement. The next day I got a call from the producer in New York and he was in the hospital positive with COVID. So I knew it was coming. And that's how it got my way. Now, interestingly enough, I was the only one that really ever took their mask off. It was to eat a slice of pizza, or maybe it was to communicate a little better, and I would slide my mask down. And the producer did the same. Occasionally, he would talk to the talent, and he would pull his mask down. The singer, the people with the singer, some of our other musicians always had, of course, the singer, he didn't have his mask on when he was singing, but he was isolated in a separate booth. I was the only one that got it. And that was because I fortunately took my mask off from time to time. Between Wednesday and Monday, and I was sick. It hit me. And by Monday night, once I laid down on the couch, I rarely got up from the couch or the bed that we put together in the basement. I was just oppressively exhausted, and it felt like an elephant was sitting on my chest. It was hard to breathe. It hurt to breathe, but my oxygen levels never got low enough that I had to go to the hospital. It hurt to breathe. A deep breath was just all across my chest. And then it got deeper. And it was an oppressive weight. I would lay on the couch and just do breathing exercise, yoga breaths, to try and breathe as deep as I could. Just I wanted to work through it. But for that first week, it was just pressing right here in the middle of my chest. And every breath hurt. Not pins and needles, but it was like, it felt to me like there was cellophane in my lungs and I had to break it away to get the breath in. So weird. I was 2 weeks down where I was just sick. Occasionally I'd feel like I had enough energy maybe to get up and walk around the house, or maybe walk down to a third level in our basement walk to a different television. And I would, and then the exhaustion would just overwhelm me and I would just have to lay down. The third week, I felt pretty good. And I was able to spend a few minutes working here and there. And by the fourth week, I was still tired, but I could go back to work. I can equate it to, like, if you have a cold sore, which is a virus, and at times of stress or sickness, that cold sore might come back. That's how I feel now, a couple of months later. If I find myself stressed or tired, my lungs start to hurt again, and the exhaustion comes back, and I have to lay down. And I'm told that this will pass, but it's really annoying because, as you know, in our business, in production, stress kind of comes along with the gig. And so I could be working, I have folks in here now, everybody wears a mask all the time. But even yesterday we were working, I was trying to fix some problems with a musical arrangement, and I could feel it come back, and so I excused myself and I went out to the lobby and I laid on the couch for 15 minutes. Very strange. Having it, those 2 weeks, I lost some friends and acquaintances across the country. And that was terrifying. Know that a 40-year-old guitar player, a friend of mine, younger than me by 15 years, passed away. Or a fitness instructor here in Utah that's only in their 30s and a good friend of mine was being admitted to go on a ventilator. It was just terrifying. And I just kept my fingers crossed that I was going to feel better the next day, because I didn't want to end up in the hospital being assisted with my breathing. The deniers and the folks like that, I mean, I get it. It's scary and you don't want to think about it. And you want to hope that it's not going to affect you. And I certainly did. But I made a mistake and I got it. But please, the only thing we have to protect us right now is the mask. And I know that there are treatments in the works, and I know that there's a potential vaccine, hopefully next year. But right now, it's that mask that is going to save us all from contracting it from somebody else. And in my case, the gentleman, he's awesome. He's a great friend of mine, and he didn't know. And he didn't know he was bringing it right here into the office. And I was so lucky now, I feel, because I could have taken it out of here and given it to other people. But I didn't, because I wear a mask. The producer and myself, the singer, his father, the musicians that came in and out during the session, all fine. And I'm so glad that none of them had to go through it. And in fact, this week we're back on the project, the very same group of people, and we're all wearing our masks. And my friends that say, "Well, I think I've had it already." I'm telling you, man, you haven't had it. It's no flu.